How many cents are in a dollar? Pennies are in a dollar. So there's 100 cents in a dollar, right?
Yes.
Percents are based off of what value?
100.
Out of 100. Okay, so if I say I got 55% on something, that means I got 55 problems right out of every 100, right? Means out of every 100 problems, I get 55 right. That makes sense to everybody? Okay. Well, guys, right here, our section to deal with percents and fractions. You've used them a lot, I would hope. And guys, our goal right here is to use a fraction to find a percent of a number. Okay. A lot of shortcuts that we're going to be talking about this section. Whoa. Wowzers. Technical difficulties. Let's try this again. I had Lauren Phillips came in and calibrated. I wonder if she missed one. All right. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Stay tuned. I think we're getting somewhere now. There we go. All right. Hey, there we are. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Okay. So, guys, our goal today. What's our goal say right now? Somebody want to volunteer to read that for me?
I will.
Go for it, Mason.
Use a fraction to find percent of a number.
That's weird, isn't it? That is weird. Okay. Use a fraction to find a percent of a number. Very simple. Okay, very simple. Somebody's been messing with my. That looks a little better, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Use fraction to find a percent of a number. In the vocab right here, percent, we kind of already talked about this. It says a percent is a ratio whose denominator is what value?
100.
It's based out of 100. Okay, the base system is 100. And it says the symbol for percent is right there. Okay, you've seen that before. Okay, so the first example down below talks about something here. It says in the area model shown below, 45 of 100 squares are shaded. So in this right here, how many of these small squares are there? 100 of them. And right now, you guys can simply see that, well, it's kind of hard to see up here, so I'll kind of shade this in. But you guys can see this part that I've shaded in right here, right? Gosh darn it. Oh, I wish people wouldn't mess with stuff. Know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Try this again. There, that looks better. How many squares have I shaded right there of the 100?
45.
45 of them are shaded. Therefore, what percent of this is shaded? What percent of the whole square is shaded? 45%. 45 out of 100. Okay. Now, in number notation, we talk about 85 divided by 100, or 85 over 100 equal to what?
85.
85%. In algebra notation, whatever P is, P divided by 100 becomes P what? Percent. Okay. So example 1, let's just start talking about writing percents as a fraction. Okay. The first one right here says 31%. Okay, 31% means put 31 over what value, Chelsea? Okay, so this is simply going to be 31 over what? There you go. Okay, now my question to you is this: can 31 over 100 be simplified anymore as a fraction? You can't. Okay, 31's prime already, isn't it? Okay. Now the next one, be careful on this. How would you write 60% as a fraction, kiddos? 60 over 100. Now this one right here may be more interesting. When you go 60 divided by 100, how about reducing that? Both end in zeros, so what has to go into both of those?
5.
5 would, or even higher than that, 10. How many times would 10 go in up here?
6.
How many times would 10 go in down here? Okay. Then likewise, guys, how about 6 over 10? Can that go further? To what?
3.
3 over 5. Okay. So here's the dealio. 31% as a fraction just becomes 31 over 100. Can't reduce it. All right? But 60% was 60 over 100, but in simplest form, what was its fraction? 3/5. So if I get 60% of something done, what fraction have I gotten done? Well, 3/5 of it. Okay? 3/5 of it. All right? So if I say, hey, here's a percent, turn it to a fraction, you're just going to take that percent and put it over what right away? 100, right? And then once you've gotten that number over 100, all you got to do is simplify if possible, right? That's pretty easy, isn't it? All right. Gnarly. Next page, gang. Page 2. Woo! Let's do the other way around. What if I want to take a fraction and turn it to a percent? Well, I'm going to give you a rule right here, guys. Basically, what you're going to do is take your fraction. You are going to divide first, and then times by, what are percentages based off of again? 100. Okay? So watch what I do here. Let me pull out my trusty calculator. You're going to divide first, then times by 100 second. Okay, so let me throw out this handy dandy calculator. Calculator. That's what I meant. We got to write 3/10 as a what?
Fraction. No.
As a.
Percent.
Anybody know it, by the way? 3 out of 10?
30.
30%. How'd you get that? Or you just know that?
I guess.
I'm going to go 3 divided by what first?
10.
3 divided by 10. That was the fraction. What do you get here?
0.3.
0.3. Now, to turn that into a percent, it's like 0.3. You got to take 0.3 times what value?
100.
What percent have I got?
30.
30%. Next one. We're going to go what divided by what?
4 divided by 5.
4 divided by 5. Let me grab my calculator again. 4 divided by 5. I get 0.8. Now I'm going to take that 0.8 times what value?
100.
And what percent do you end up with?
80.
Okay. Down below on your own. Told you this was pretty easy today, didn't I?
Yeah.
Down below on your own. You either have a percent. If you have a percent, you need to turn it into a what?
Fraction.
Fraction. If you have a fraction, I want you to turn those into a what? Percent. I want you guys to take about a minute, do those on your own. Hey, somebody left some gloves in here the other day. John, are these yours?
No.
No. Sorry, I wonder if O.J. Simpson was in my room.
So, Jay?
Could be O.J.'s black glove. Somebody left behind.
Hi, Mrs. Miller.
Good morning, Mrs. Miller.
Mr. Person?
Sorry, I have a sub in the room. I was a little late. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
I gave you notes, right, Mrs. Miller?
Yes, you did.
Page 331 is the assignment.
Okay.
1 through 43 odd. Before you got in here, I told the kids they did a really nice job on their test, and if they need to make corrections to either the test or the quiz that they got back today, to have corrections to me by, what'd I say, tomorrow?
Okay.
Yep, on a separate sheet of paper, stapled.
Okay.
So if you want to make that note, if anybody needs a reminder, let them know. On these 4 problems, anybody need more time with these 4 on your own?
I do.
Okay, Jen, let me know when you're done, bud.
Okay.
First one right here, guys, 73% as a fraction. How'd you write that in simplest form? Who's got that one for me? Anybody?
72
Yeah, just put 73 over. 73 over 100. Can that simplify? Can that simplify? No. Okay. Who's got the next one? Chelsea, you got the next one? 2/5. All right. How would I know 2/5 is correct? Well, what I could do is this. I could take this fraction, 2/5. I could plug it into my calculator. Okay. So if I go 2 divided by 5 right here, I get 0.4. I can take that 0.4 times what now? Does that get me back to the percentage that we started with right there?
Yeah.
It did, didn't it? Got me back to 40%, right?
Yep.
Okay, how many had 2/5 there? Now again, I'd want to start with 40 over 100, wouldn't I? Okay, 40 and 100 both end in 0, so I'd be like dropping the zeros off of each one. Got 4 over 10. Well, can 4 over 10 be reduced further? To what value? 2/5, you bet. Okay, now the other two in this case were just fractions. What'd you get for a percent here? You had to turn this fraction into a percent. What'd you get? 90%. Okay, how about this one? 16%. What questions have you got on those? You know what I think about this section? There's some pretty easy peasy points coming, aren't there?
Yes.
Okay? Easy peasy. He said easy peasy. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. That's the name of my new line. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. People would buy it because it's easy peasy.
I thought it was easy squeezy mac and
Easy
cheese.
squeezy. Ooh, I like that.
Cool.
I'm gonna start selling squid. Squid for kids.
Try can you sell calamari as well?
Good.
Thank you.
Don't they? How many of you guys have eaten at the? Well, what am I trying to? Oh, the Tokyo restaurant.
Oh,
Do they serve calamari in that place?
I don't know.
I've never had it. I wouldn't even know what it looks like. If you,
Oh, well,
is it good, Mrs. Miller?
no.
So you're
My
saying
daughter's so
It's like
giant.
rubbery.
don't do it, huh?
Yeah.
You're telling me to stick
I
with the.
mean,
You're telling me
yeah.
to stick with the steak and the salmon and the scallops, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't care for it,
Okay.
but, you know, people do.
Gotta try it, huh?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a peanut butter and pickle sandwich. You're just not sure until you try it, right?
Well, the only time we tried.
Anna, what's that look for? I love peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
Lydia eats eggs with peanut
I
butter.
put peanuts in my Pepsi too.
I know, you told us, and it's so
Anna,
weird.
I'm gonna assist. That look is. Ooh. I almost tripped. All right, hey, let's roll. Let's get this done. All right, having too much fun on a Monday here. Okay. Any questions up to this point right here? I think we've got this pretty well down right now. Fraction to a percent, or vice versa, percent back into a fraction. Can we handle it?
Yes.
Okay. Example 3 then. Let's start talking about what probabilities look like as a percent. We just got done spending an awful lot of time dealing with counting principle, writing probabilities out as fractions. What we want to now know is that if I can take a probability and write as a fraction, we have the ability to go from a fraction into a what now? Percent. So what I want to get at is this. Anytime you start talking probability, I stress to you an awful lot. So anytime you see the word probability, write some kind of a fraction. The only difference is we're going to go one step further, take that fraction and turn it into a what now? Into a percent. Okay. So in this example right here, it says a computer randomly generates an integer from 1 to 10. Okay. Generates an integer from 1 to 10. Integers, whole numbers starting at 1, ending at 10. So how many numbers do I have? 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It says find the probability that 8 is generated. It's just like reaching into something where you have 10 things numbered, 1 through 10. What's the probability you would draw out an 8, or an 8 is generated from 1 to 10? Not 8 out of 10. What's the chances you pull the number 8 out of, let's just pretend there's 10 chips numbered 1 to 10 in there. I bring the bag up and say, what's the probability you reach in and pull the 8 out? There's a 1 in 10 chance, right? So the probability, again, don't forget, well, that's fraction. So you guys agree, first of all, in fraction form, there's a 1 in 10 chance there? Okay, well, what are you going to do with that 1 in 10 chance now? You're going to turn it into a, yeah, we want to make our probability, and we want to turn it to a percent. So what's that going to be? Well, 1 divided by 10, and how much is it, Seth?
10%.
10%. 10% chance. Very good. 10% chance. Okay. So there's a 10% chance there, kind of like the chance that it's going to snow today. I think there's like a 10% chance of snow today. Likely or unlikely?
Unlikely.
Unlikely. Okay. So right up top on your own right here, it says the computer randomly generates an integer from 1 to 10. Find the probability of a given event. First one I want, what's the probability you get the number what?
2.
Or what's the probability you get a prime number? I'll tell you what the prime numbers are from 1 to 10. 2 is prime. 3 is prime. What's the next prime number? 5. And what's the next one?
7.
Okay, so how many prime numbers are there from 1 to 10? Okay,
4.
very good. So I want them as a percent. So probability you get a 2. What's the percent? Got 10 numbers in a bag again. One numbered 1 through 10. All of them are covered. What's the probability you draw a 2 if they're all in there? 1/10, right? So what's 1/10 look like as a percent, guys? What's 1/10 look like as a percent?
10.
10%. Okay. What'd you get for the next one? There's a 4 in 10 chance, right? 4 out of 10 chance I draw one of these 4 numbers. Well, what's that going to be as a percent? 40%. Okay. Is this making sense?
Yes.
Any questions so far? I know I'm going quickly, but I'm pretty sure we're on board right now.
Yeah.
Some sort of science, you're alive right now.
Uh,
All good?
Yeah.
Okay. Last example then, finding the percent of a number. It says in a survey of 85 people, 20% of them said they usually eat crackers with their soup. How many people in the survey said they actually eat crackers with the soup? How many people totally?
percent.
Well, but how many people are being surveyed?
Oh, 85.
Okay, 85 people here. Basically what we're trying to do is to find 20% of what value?
85.
Okay, here's how this works. If you ever want to find the percent of a number, here's kind of your rule, all right? Take your percent, divide it by, percent basically is a number out of what? 100. And then times it by your number. This would kind of be the formula. Okay. Guys, in mathematics, the word of, half of something means half times something, right? A third of something means a third times something. So when we use that word of in mathematics, what operation usually is affixed with it? Well, typically multiplication is, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do here is this, guys. What percent are we talking about in this problem? We're going to take 20 and divide it by what first? 20 and divide it by 100. And what we're trying to do is find 20% of how many people in the survey?
85.
So I'm going to take that 20 divided by 100 and then turn around and multiply by what? 85. So let's see what this looks like numerically. 20%. Let's see. When I go 20% in my calculator, 20 divided by 100, in other words, I get that number, 0.2. Okay? Now, we're going to take that 0.2 times what value?
85.
Times 85. And when I do that, how many people do I come up with out of the 85 that are putting crackers in their soup?
17.
17 people like crackers in their soup. Okay? I'm just going to write down 17 people like cracker soup. I've never had crackers.
It's crackers with this.
Crackers with soup. Yeah.
You could also put it as, this time I put it as a fraction
Okay.
and did it how we like kind of learned the cross multiply.
Oh, I like that. Yep. I like that too. Here's a question for you. I want to know what 40% of 60 is. 40% of 60. I want 40% of 60. Anybody got it punched up yet?
24.
24. What'd you do there, John? Give me your process.
I took 40 divided by 100.
Stop real quickly. Why'd you take 40 divided by 100?
Because that's the rule.
That's the rule. 40 was the percent, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then I wanted 40% of what number?
60, so I multiply by
So
60.
after you took 40 divided by 100, you multiply by your...
60.
Very good. Okay, is that what you had, Chelsea? 24 also? Okay. What questions have you guys got on this?
Have you ever heard the song Animal Crackers in My Soup?
Animal crackers in my soup. Yes, I have. I have 3 daughters. I've heard it multiple times.